By tonight. Breaking now at 11.
Police evacuate the Altria Theater tonight in the middle of the Thomas Jefferson High School graduation. We're learning more about the credible threat that forced them to do it.
A security guard and truck drivers square off at a busy intersection when bullets start to fly, and it's all caught on camera.
And it's Most Wanted Wednesday, and tonight, U.S. Marshals need your help to get a dangerous drug dealer off the streets of Richmond.
On your side, NBC12 News at 11 starts with breaking news.
And that breaking news is out of Richmond, where it was a graduation nightmare after students who planned on walking across the stage tonight never got the chance.
Here you see parents and students evacuating the Altria Theater after the school system says a security threat forced them to cancel Thomas Jefferson High School's graduation.
Brent Solomon live tonight at the Altria Theater. He joins us now. And Brent, walk us through what exactly happened here.
Kurt, Diane, I just spoke with a woman who said she's the one who contacted authorities. She tells me she was inside watching the graduation ceremony when all of a sudden she saw a social media post from someone saying they would shoot up the graduates as they exited the building. Go ahead, take a look at your screen now. Of course, we've been following this. Authorities took that threat very seriously because shortly afterwards, they stopped the graduation right in the middle of the ceremony. I'm told students had just given their speeches and they were preparing to walk across the stage. That never happened. Richmond police got involved around 8:30 as the entire building evacuated, except for the students who thought they would be graduating. I'm told they were told to stay in place for more than an hour until the scene was clear. Back live now, RPS has rescheduled TJ's graduation to take place Saturday at 10 in the morning. But I just spoke with another woman who told me, quote, "I won't be back. Too much drama. Just give my nephew his diploma." End quote. Live in Richmond on your side, Brent Solomon, NBC12.
We first broke this story on the NBC12 News app. Make sure you have it loaded on your mobile device so you'll have the latest breaking alerts on this and other major stories. And right now, a live look across Richmond where it has been another calm night despite the threat of a storm or two. The First Alert Weather Team is tracking a cold front right now that could bring any changes in the coming hours. Meteorologist Jim Duncan has the answer. Will it bring some changes
Yeah,
for
it'd be
us?
nice if it kind of swept the humidity out, and it may do that later tonight, so I'll have more on your commuter forecast in a few minutes. But we are talking for about a couple of changes later tonight. JES Computer is still warm. Upper 70s now. Patterson Ave, Mayberry Elementary School, Woodlake, and Millwood School, 77, 76 in Maymont. And upper 70s, most all areas. Here we are at 11:02 at night, and upper 70s, very humid, means there's a bit of a heat index. Even at 11 o'clock at night, the heat index adds about 2 or 3 degrees to the temperature because of the high humidity. Now, you mentioned the showers. We've had a couple of those earlier out in Fluvanna County in those areas, but they're gone. They really never made it to Richmond. I thought we'd see a few scattered around. There's still a slight chance of that as we have a cold front yet to come through. That'll happen later tonight. So I wouldn't totally rule out a few stray showers. Nothing big, though, about a 20% chance overall. And then the heat will be our news as we go into the upcoming weekend, even though we're going to catch a little break tomorrow. So more in your morning commute forecast behind the front tomorrow morning, and the heat coming up for Father's Day weekend. That's in a few minutes. Kurt?
All right, we'll check back. Thank you, Jim. In Richmond tonight, dozens of people living in the Fan give city leaders an earful on how to solve the city's parking problems. AJ Nwoko was at that meeting where city leaders say just adding more parking spaces may not be the best solution.
If you live in the Fan,
those of us who come home from work at 6 o'clock cannot park in the off-street parking areas because they are restricted in many cases.
Then chances are you have plenty of complaints about the city's parking problem. That was the case for dozens who showed up for the fourth meeting addressing the city's parking issues.
Every square foot counts, and so every place we put for a car is something else that doesn't get there. That activity is more valuable to us than parking, generally speaking, but we know we have to accommodate.
Mark Olinger is the Director of Planning and Development Review for Richmond. He says there are more than 5,000 parking spaces available in the Fan District alone, but most of it's ineffectively used. And attempting to create new spaces in a crowded city?
Building a series of massive structures It's going to be very expensive.
Up to $25,000 per space, according to the study. That's why the city hired a group to study the available parking in the Fan District to assess future demand and create recommendations as the city expands.
For the last 8 years, over 25,000 new people have come into the city. We need to figure out how we continue to build that momentum. This is a good problem to have.
But that problem still needs a solution. As the Fan District continues to grow, that means more people competing for those some 5,000 spaces.
And they go pretty quick.
So the answer really isn't about adding more parking supply. It's about reducing demand.
The opportunities for us to not only think about parking, but think about how we get people to walk or bike or take transit to some of these, so the demand for parking is a little less over time.
On your side in Richmond, AJ Nwoko, NBC12 News.
And if you missed tonight's meeting, you have 3 more chances. There are 2 meetings tomorrow, one at the downtown area, the other for the Manchester area. A final meeting will be Saturday morning to discuss the Libby Hill area. We'll have all of this information for you on the NBC12 News app.
A Chesterfield woman wants King's Dominion and a passenger on a ride held responsible after a falling cell phone left her with a gruesome injury. We want to warn you, these images are graphic.
We're going up and down hills, and I had noticed that there was a black object flying at me, and I couldn't really pinpoint what it was at the time. And all of a sudden, I'm feeling the impact of it hitting my face.
Rianne Mayfield says she was hit by the phone while riding Twisted Timbers. A spokesperson for the park said first aid staff immediately helped the woman, and Mayfield says the man whose phone hit her did come up and apologize. According to our legal analyst, the passenger whose phone hit the woman could be at fault in this case, but Mayfield never got the man's name, and neither did the park staff. King's Dominion told NBC12 there are signs and lockers at the entrances to their rides stating that valuables need to be stored and fully secured.
We have a crime alert out of Chesterfield tonight, where U.S. Marshals are looking for a convicted heroin dealer that they say is back on the streets dealing drugs. Authorities say he's dangerous, and they hope someone will recognize him and turn him in. You'd think serving 15 years in federal prison would teach someone a lesson. Not so for convicted heroin dealer Alan Eugene Stewart.
When he got out, he did pretty good on probation. Then he started slipping and using drugs and eventually started dealing drugs again, and that's how he got hemmed up in Chesterfield County.
Stewart made it to his first court appearance in Chesterfield and was granted bond, but never returned for his next court date. So now he's wanted in Chesterfield for distributing drugs and by U.S. Marshals for violating probation.
Well, the judge doesn't look too fond upon it. He will definitely probably get more time in prison this time.
And Stewart knows it. He has a lengthy rap sheet full of drug and firearm convictions. U.S. Marshals believe he's with family or friends. His family is from Quinton, and he may have ties to a home on Oakington Drive off Darbytown Road. His tattoos stand out. R.I.P. Brian is on his right forearm, and a dragon and the word Prince are on his upper right arm. Nishanti is on his left forearm with Charday above it. His left calf shows a clown who's been shot dead, and his face and hairline sport various smaller tattoos. Authorities want Allen off the street to help curb the heroin problem here in Central Virginia.
That's a dangerous drug, one we don't need on the street. It's poisoning our communities, and we need to bring it to a stop.
And again, Stewart is today's most wanted Wednesday fugitive. He's 5 foot 11 inches tall. He weighs about 165 pounds and has local federal warrants out for his arrest. Anyone with information that might be able to help should call the U.S. Marshals 24-hour tip line 1-877-WANTED-2 or 1-877-926-8332, and you don't even have to give your name. And we have an update now on a case involving a woman charged with several crimes after an altercation with police back in April. Jessica Enos admits that she jumped into her car to stop it from being towed from a VCU parking garage. She says an officer assaulted her, but police say it was she that assaulted them. Police also found marijuana in the glove box. Today, she was found guilty on one count of obstruction and fined. Another obstruction charge and the marijuana charge were dropped.
A mother says an issue with her water heater forced her family and several others to run from their homes this morning. What's worse, the woman says she had just asked maintenance to check on a burning smell. Tasha Powell says she saw smoke and a flame underneath her door at the Puddle Dock Place Apartments in Prince George around 6:30. Thanks to a sprinkler system, no one was hurt. Still, this mother is out of her home for several days and upset as she had previously reported the problem.
Yesterday, I did complain to the office. I thought they had came and corrected the problem because yesterday it knocked my breaker off, and I thought they was coming. When I came back, the breaker was on.
NBC12 reached out to the apartment complex leasing office, but they did not want to comment. Investigators are looking into what caused that hot water heater to catch fire in the first place.
In Richmond, a social media campaign designed to cut down on crime is getting a reboot. Today, Virginia's Attorney General and the Richmond Police Chief announced they're teaming up to relaunch Respect Richmond. The 6-month-long anti-violence campaign last year used social media in advertising to help deter crime. Officials say they can't give all of the credit to Respect Richmond, but several different types of crime did drop in certain areas. In Creighton Court, the number of people shot fell by 71% from that same period in 2016. In Mosby Court, there was a 75% drop in homicide.
All across the country, urban areas are facing this epidemic, this gun crisis.
The chief also credited an increase in community involvement for a step in the right direction when it comes to reducing crime.
By this time tomorrow, we will have a winner in our St. Jude home giveaway. Tomorrow, someone will win this 5-bedroom, 4-bathroom home in Chesterfield County built by Stylecraft. All proceeds go to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, where families never get a bill. We will draw the winner during our newscast on Thursday, so be sure to watch between 4 and 6:30 to see if you're the winner.
Using Facebook to catch a stud muffin. How social media help police find this accused thief. Coming up.
Imagine pulling up to an intersection and seeing this. A security guard shooting at a truck. What witnesses say happened, that's after the break.
Tracking that cold front coming through Virginia this evening. The weather changes ahead for your morning commute. That's coming up next.